Hi everyone, my name is Jenny D and welcome. You are watching the Beginner's Guide to Drawing Episode 1. Today we are going to have a look at the very basics of drawing. Some people out there believe that drawing is some kind of mystical talent. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's not. It's a bit like learning to play the piano. It's something that can be practiced and learned. There are some very rare people out there who just seem to have amazing abilities, but let me tell you, they are very rare. Now, to prove that drawing is something that you can learn and practice, I'm going to do a little bit of a demonstration, and I'd like you to do this demonstration with me. So we're going to start with the tools of drawing. You need something to make a mark on. I've got a sketch pad here, and something to make a mark with. And I happen to have an outline pen because that will show up well in the video. But if your preferred drawing tools are paper plate and spaghetti, well, go for it if that's what you want to do. All you need is something to make a mark with. Now, to do this demonstration and this little exercise, what I'd like you to do is to put the pen or the pencil or whatever it is you're making a mark with in your non-preferred hand. That means if you are right-handed, put it in your left hand. If you're left-handed, put it in your right hand. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to do this demonstration with my left hand. So what I'd like you to do is just to write your name with your non-preferred hand. Right, here we go. I'm only going to write my first name. Ooh, pretty wobbly. And there it is. Yeah, it's a bit of a mess, isn't it? Well, that's because my left hand doesn't have as much hand-eye coordination as my right hand. Now, I happen to be lucky that I speak English and I've written this in English, so I know what the forms look like. But if I tried to write that in Arabic, I would have been completely lost because I wouldn't even know what the forms look like. Now, handwriting is something that we have all learned, well, most of us have learned from a very young age. So let's do a demonstration with our right hand or your preferred hand. So here we go. Same thing, writing my first name. And that looks much nicer to me. Learning handwriting is all about practice, and learning to draw is just the same thing. All that drawing is a certain way of seeing things and using your hand-eye coordination. Now, you've started this journey when you started to learn to write your name. Now, if I made a little form like this, that doesn't mean anything to you, does it? Let me just move it over to the camera. You would know what that is. I don't know what that is either. But what if I was to tell you that that was a G? It kind of does look like a bit like a G. Then I might say to you, draw a G. So you would think to yourself, okay, I know a G has a circle and a tail. And there you are. Because your mind knows what the shapes look like and your hand has coordination with your eye, you can make that shape. Now you can draw in exactly the same way. There are plenty of artists out there who have certain forms or faces even that they practice over and over again to make it appear as if they can draw something just at the drop of a hat. Now, just as another little demonstration, I'm going to draw a little cartoon face for you. Just a little bog-eyed boy. It's got big ears, and kind of a pointy chin, and spiky hair. Okay, so there's my little cartoon figure of a boy. Now that is a shape that I have practiced quite a few times, so I can reproduce it over and over again. So some artists might practice the shape of a cat, and therefore if you ask them to draw a cat, they use the images that they've already practiced and the hand-eye coordination that they've already practiced to reproduce a cat. But if you said to them, can you draw a landscape, they might struggle. Again, there are some people out there that can draw just about anything, but they are very, very rare. Let's do another demonstration or another exercise that you can join in with. What I'd like you to do is to draw a daisy. Most people can draw a daisy. Here's my daisy. And I'll give it a stem and a leaf. That's not a bad representation of a daisy. We know it's a daisy because it has, or a flower at least, it has a centre and it has petals and a stem and a leaf. So you've been taught from kindergarten and even earlier to conceptualise things, to represent them in certain ways. And this is one of the ways that we represent a daisy. You might have represented a house by doing this. And I'm pretty sure I have done my fair share of drawings of houses in that way. But if somebody wants to draw more realistically, what you need to do is to see in a different way, to look in a different way, and then to reproduce the shapes that you see. Now that does take some practice. So what I'd like you to do before the next lesson, where I'm going to talk a little bit more about how to see shapes, I'd like you to practice representing these shapes. I believe it was Leonardo da Vinci that said, only a perfect artist can draw a perfect circle. Let's see if I can draw a perfect circle. Nope. I'll try again. No, I guess I'm not a perfect artist, but you know what? That's okay. I can draw a circle and I'm fairly happy with that circle. What Leonardo was referring to is that it takes practice to use your hands and to use your eyes to make forms. So what I'd like you to do is to practice making a daisy over and over again on a piece of paper, or any piece of paper that you can get your hands on. Do it while you're watching TV or on the phone or waiting for your kids at school to pick them up. Just keep drawing that daisy shape. And don't do it really quickly. Try and get those shapes as neat as you can, as if you were practicing handwriting. So get your circle as nice as you can, your petals as even as you can, and your leaf as even as you can. And that will help us in the very next lesson. I hope you have enjoyed today's lesson, and I hope you will practice hard, and I will see you